All right, everybody, here it is. It is 4 o'clock on Thursday, and we are doing our weekly Millionaire Mentorship. And today I have got an amazing, amazing guest, Mr. Rob Sperry. And, I've been following Rob now for a few years, but we've never really connected up. And I reached out to him the other day, and he was gracious enough to agree to come on to our show here and talk to our audience. And I just love this. Here's a guy that, he's got a whole list of accolades, things that you just can't even imagine. There are those things that you sit down when you're crafting your vision and your goals and desires that you want to get. So I want to speak on this stage. I want to speak on this stage. I want to write this book. Rob's done it all. He's written a best-selling, the game of network marketing. He's been on, Social Media Summit. You were a speaker on that. I saw you on. You've been on, how many times have you been on GoPro? At least once or twice on GoPro, right?
Yeah, I did the Social Media Summit, and then I did GoPro as well right after that.
Up there with Tony Robbins and Richard Branson. I mean, all of the greats, Ray Higdon and everybody. Here's a young man, and I say young man. I'm 68. I'm sure he's maybe 65. No, he's probably a lot. I've got grandkids his age, but the bottom line is for someone of this age group to have the success that he's had. I know so many people in your age group that are struggling, trying to figure out who they are. And here you are, a millionaire in your own right and just having so much success. So, Rob, thank you again for being here. And I think people would first off, just like to hear your story. What got you into network marketing? What got you, going where you're going?
Absolutely. So all the time we hear the highlights, right? One story, and it's been fun. Ron and I have been following each other on social media. It's like one of those weird things we feel like you know each other, but you've never had a conversation. Yeah, exactly. But that means that we've done a good enough job on social media, because that's your goal. Your goal on social media is, it's not necessarily attraction marketing where everyone's just going to reach out and your inbox is flooded, right? You can have those unicorn posts, but it's more of, you want people to be able to know you. So those that are your vibe, right? Your vibe attracts your tribe. When you reach out to them, they're more likely to say yes, because you've been very deliberate, niches to riches. So for me, a little bit of my background, I started out in the network marketing industry in 2008. Prior to that, I was the tennis guy. I taught tennis. I played tennis. I played semi-professional tennis. I ran a tennis club. Everything was just tennis, 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 tennis. And at the tennis club, there's some highly successful people. At the tennis club, and we're talking people that have just sold companies for astronomical amounts. And so, one guy sold his company for almost $3 billion. And so these are the type of caliber of people that I'm teaching their kids tennis, and I'm asking questions. Hey, what did you do? How did you make your money? And as I'm doing this on a regular and consistent basis, I started getting all this mentorship. For 4 years, I got mentorship from all these top influencers, right, in the world, these top thought, leaders. And I just didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. But I found at the tennis club, I didn't have enough leverage. There was only a certain amount I could make, and it capped out really quickly. So I started teaching tennis or running a tennis club at age 24. I just knew that it wasn't going to be long term. So I had this mentor that gave me every single book on an iPod that he could think of. So he started out with an iPod. This is dating at 2008. And the book, or the iPod, had 18 books. So a couple months later, I was done. I'm like, okay, I'm done. Next. He's like, okay, you got to study this and this and this. So anyways, long story short, he was preparing me for network marketing. He didn't know it because he had been retired. He's one of the top earners and hadn't built for several years. He was the one that sponsored me, got me involved in 2008. And the short version of it is I was the most timid, scared person you've ever met. Public speaking was the greatest fear I had ever had. I felt like it didn't matter how much you paid me, I wouldn't do it. And now fast forward, I became the #1 recruiter out of 1 million distributors. I built some large teams, 40 plus countries. I ended up selling my position in network marketing several years ago. And in the last several years as a coach and a trainer, I've spoken in 18 plus countries, done a lot of consulting for companies, working with top leaders, running my own masterminds, all that stuff. That's the highlight version. The fail your way forward version, we don't have time, but just know it's much longer. In my 5th month in the business, I made less than $400 and I was working 80 hours a week, Ron. So basically, I could have made minimum wage somewhere else and I would have been filthy rich compared to the network marketing, right? It's like the most underpaid business in the beginning. And I believe done right, it can be the most overpaid business in the end. So I had to have that vision and perspective.
It sounds like, you had a lot of hunger.
Oh, I mean, the best way I like to say it is on a scale 1 to 10, my fears were a 9. And on a scale 1 to 10, my goals, dreams, ambitions, and visions were a 10. Yeah. So many times my fears beat out my dreams. But my dreams were so clear that overall I won the war. I won more battles than I lost. So it's not, I just don't want all of you to get discouraged thinking either you're good or you're not. You're going to have days where you don't do as much as you should have. You're going to have months. But the first key is not quitting, but that's not enough. You've got to transition into becoming a conqueror and staying in the income producing activities, because we all know, right? What do? It's like we get on the scroll patrol and it's like 5 hours later, where did time go? And you've been on social media, right, forever, and you're in the dark scroll patrol. And then the end of the week, you're like, Ron, I'm working so hard. And Ron's like, okay, what are you doing? Well, I watched 7 Facebook Lives today, and I read 2 books today, and I studied the 92 ways the compensation plan pays, and I know all of our 70 ingredients in our product and all the pending patents. Okay, how many new people did you talk to? Oh, that's tomorrow. That's what we tend to do way too much, right? We end up putting off what we know we need to do and try to do the busy work, and we wonder why we don't have success. The fire is talking to brand new people. The fuel is everything else. Not to say the fuel is not important, but if you're taking fuel and they're throwing it on dirt where there's no fire, you're not going to have success. So focus on the fire and use the fuel, the fuel, the trainings, the personal development, all of that stuff as the fuel to support it. So they're both important. It's just we got to know which is most important.
Well, and it's funny, but I got to say this: in the video here, we look different size, but I'm like 5'7.5", so I'm a little guy.
I'm 6'1", so do we need to swap?
Yeah, we need to. Yeah, someone's going out here with the cameras. I need to pull my camera down. But when I was in high school, in junior high, I played football. I was running back, and then I went into high school, and I didn't grow, and I couldn't play anything. So they offered me another sport to play, and you never guess what it was. Tennis. So I ended up playing tennis, going to state in tennis, and played in the military and played overseas. And so we've got a good background there. But one of the things I was watching some of your training the other day, and you were talking about the 3 tiers, and that just really hit home with me, because you had said exactly kind of what you were just talking about, the fuel and the fire. You've got to have that fire, but people are spending so much time with the fuel that it just doesn't go anywhere. So what advice would you give that person that is, maybe they're either just getting started, or they've been going for a long time, but they feel like they're just getting started. A lot of people, they go for a year or two and they're stuck and they feel like they just got to restart over. What would you tell them that, hey, here are the things that you need to do. Don't worry about going to training every day, or what? What would you say to them?
Yeah, I would say DMO. You got to create your daily method of operation. And that is based off the tiers of the income producing activities, because we're all used to being told what to do. Your parents told you what to do. Your teachers told you what to do. Your bosses told you what to do. Everyone told you what to do. And now you're so excited that you're not being told what to do. The problem is most of us just don't have a clear enough vision. We don't have enough discipline yet. It's a muscle, something that needs to be worked, and it takes time. So now it's like, it would be like if back in the day, if you were in school and they're like, yeah, this project's due, but you can turn it any time in the next 4 years. You're not going to get it done, most of you. You should be like, well, why? And in your business, it's the same thing. It becomes Tomorrowland. Successful people know urgency is synonymous with wealth. And those that aren't yet successful, it's always tomorrow, 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 tomorrow. Successful people know that tomorrow isn't one of the 7 days of the week. And so you got to stop saying tomorrow, 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 tomorrow. So they take the path of least resistance. So they take the path of least rejection. It's so much easier to watch the training for the training of the training and work in your mind than deal with rejection. The rejection is outside the comfort zone. outside of the comfort zone is where you're going to have that success. So when you create your DMO, you can change it. I'm going to give you 5 things. You can make it where it's bigger, smaller. I don't really care. But the number one thing you need to do is working this business is talking to brand new people. That's the most important thing. Minimums become maximums. So set what's the minimum amount you're going to talk to every week, and do not make a liar of yourself. I don't care if you're sick. I don't care if you're on a trip. That's the minimum goal. Now, of course, we want to have higher goals as well, but you got to have that minimum that you're just going to do no matter what. Whatever that is for you. Each person's different on how fast or slow they're going. But remember, it's a minimum goal. That just means you will not break it no matter what. You can have the sprint goals as well. The second thing is I believe more conversations done right equal more conversions. So I like to have non-business conversations because the money is in Messenger on a daily basis. Just be a good human being. It's not this whole fake chit chat. No. Why? When did becoming a good human being turn into fake chit chat? Of course you want everyone to join your business, but can't you still be a good human being whether they do or don't? Maybe you help them, maybe they help you, and it doesn't take that long. Find something of interest, something in common. You don't need to say, hey, how's the weather? Or how are you? What are they supposed to respond to that? But I mean, just have conversation. You see they made a post about this. You see they're from here. You've been there, or you want to go there, or they just traveled to this place, or they're passionate about something you're passionate about. Just be a good human being. You're networking first. Your network marketing second. You're networking first. And so I always like to, greatest car salesman of all time, outsold 95% of car dealerships. All he did is stay in touch with all of his clients. Had unlimited referrals and leads. That's all he did. Just stayed in contact with them. Found excuses to stay in contact with them. It doesn't take that long, people. If you did 300 a month, that's 10 a day. And literally, if you did it Messenger and you did audio, you could do it in less than 5 minutes a day. But are you disciplined enough? Number 3 is I like to add people consistently on social media because I never want to run out of leads, and I want them to be able to see my content to get to know me and see if I'm their vibe. If I'm not, they'll block, unfriend, and follow me. That's okay. So I like to add consistently new people on social media. Number 4 is I always challenge everyone to post some sort of content on social media on a daily basis because you want them to get to know you. And you don't want to be the person that don't even know you. Like, they may like your sense of humor. They may like that you like something else. Like, they just get to know you. So that's number 4. And number 5 is the follow-up, right? We've heard the fortune is in the follow-ups, plural. And if the fortune's in the follow-ups, right, that's going to depend a lot on what you're doing in the other 4 things. The number will. So it's tough to give a number on that. But you want to always be consistently following up with the prospects you got in the pipeline. So for me, whether you've been in it for a long time, whether you're just starting, if you can focus on these things and check these boxes off every day, everything else becomes the side. And now we know what's the focus so that we can get stuff done rather than making the plan for the plan or the plan or the plan or the plan, right? Which, hey, tough love here. I was the number 1 recruiter and I did it all the time. I just did it less than everyone else, but I still did it. Everyone does it.
And I hope you guys all wrote this down. I hope you are taking notes along what Rob's saying, but and I think you put this all in a package, and he said it. It's consistency. It's not doing your DMO on Monday and maybe on Thursday or Friday. It's doing these things every single day and being consistent about it. You talked about posting and being on a social network and social media and so forth. And I teach our team this all the time, and a lot of people are having some great success by doing it, but a lot of people, it's their fear of a lifetime. How important do you believe doing Facebook Lives and getting out there in front of your audiences?
So I'll give 2 parts to that. Number 1, of course, you can build without doing it. But number 2 is if your vision is that big, why are you allowing the fear of judgment to prevent you from achieving your legacy, from achieving your goals, from helping out with whatever you're passionate about, your humanitarian trips or your family, or helping out other families? Because that's really what it is. And trust me, I'm the guy that had insane fears. I'm the guy that refused to even swing a baseball bat when I was in 7th grade. My dad had to threaten to ground me. I'm the guy that it was taboo to say no to speak in church And the leader of my church showed up at my house 2 times and begged me. And I said, you could call me up to the pulpit. This is when I was 16 years old. I will walk out. I said it when I was 17 years old. So I'm just telling you that you weren't sent to this earth to be average. Whatever you believe in, I don't care. But I don't believe that you or anyone was sent to this earth to be average. But the mother of all fears is the fear of judgment. Remove the fear of judgment. We don't have the fear of success. We don't have the fear of failure. We don't have the fear of missing out. We don't have the fear of rejection. So those are all just more descriptive terms to the fear of judgment, the mother of all fears. And that mother of all fears is preventing you from becoming the person that you're meant to become. And why am I so passionate about it? Because I was the timid person. I was the person. I wouldn't even go to friends' houses when I was younger without my younger brother, 2 years younger than me. That's how scared and shy and naturally timid I was. I'm crazy ambitious, but I'm an introvert, right? I found a way to be a situational extrovert, but I'm an introvert. And so I'm just telling you all that don't allow the fear of judgment to prevent you from standing out. And lives is one of the best ways to stand out. And so what? Let's say you have no views for 6 months. So what? I guarantee you're going to get better at presenting. I guarantee you're going to get better at communication. I guarantee you're going to get better at this, like understanding the psychology of others, because you're going to be studying on what to say and how to say it. So get over yourself. Marry the process, divorce the results, and get over yourself, because you don't think it's your ego, but it is. Ego stands for everyone's got one. Your ego ain't your amigo, and you're letting your ego get in the way. And too many people think they're so humble, and they don't realize that the humility of what they think of not willing to put themselves out there is actually their ego. We've all got one, okay? It's just, I'm just trying to give you some tough love to help you overcome it.
Well, and I'm glad you said that, because we talk about that all the time. I've had some of my leaders, reach out to me when they first got on board and say, Ron, what do I got to do? I want to build on Facebook. What do I do? And I've told them, and Carlos Martinez is on here right now, and he will tell you that story, but you got to do lives. And he's kicking and screaming, and now he's just one of the best people out there doing lives. He's amazing when he does it. And I look at you and I think, yeah, you're an introvert. You're like, I'm an introvert, right? And I am. And so I understand what you're saying. But you're right, that power out there is just phenomenal, because people do business with those they know, like, and trust. And what a better way to do that than, and Rob had said something in the beginning that he and I knew of each other for a long time. And how did we do that? We do it because we were on live, we were on Facebook, we were out there in the social media. And I agree exactly what he said, that means it's working. When somebody reaches out to you, you touch their lives and so forth. So one last question, and then I've actually got 2 last questions, but one last question for you is, what would be that your one, every millionaire that I've had on here has had one thing that and I kind of ask this question a lot to them. It's like, what is the one question that you wish people would ask you when it comes to building their business, but they never seem to ask?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I probably would give a different answer depending on what book I just read or what training I just did, right? Of all the different things. But the one question that I wish people just ask is, if you were starting all over again, what would you do? And of course, that could be a whole hour training. So I'll give one of those tips. But one of those tips is, there's 2 different studies that I've read. I think one was NCIS, and it said 96% more success when you have a specific accountability appointment. Another study said 95% more success when you have an accountability partner. We know this to be true. It's common sense when I tell you. You're like, yeah, duh. Most of us don't have true accountability in network marketing. I mean, when I say most, I mean 99.9%. And even the ones that say they do, okay. So are you reporting the key indicators, the KPIs of your network marketing business every single day? And who are you reporting it to? Because I'll tell you, even 95% of leaders that I coach that are 6 and 7 figure earners don't. And can you imagine running a real business, just a traditional business, and not tracking the KPIs, the key performance indicators? And that's what we do in network marketing. And it's crazy. Me just tracking it alone will help you. You'll have some encouragement. It will help you say, oh, I don't want to have a 0 today. It will help you in so many aspects, just doing that alone without even stating goals. And so that's the one thing, one of the biggest things I see missing that I'm really big on everyone having. I had it. So for me, there wasn't a day that I did not either call or text my accountability, I'll call him my battle buddy, what my exact results were. And our deal was this: there's no white lies, meaning don't allude to you did this when you didn't do it. If you sucked that day, or if you went and took the entire day off and did nothing, say it. And that was our deal, our agreement that we made with each other. We did. We were always just straight up, hey, today I'm taking off most of the day. I'll get a couple of these calls in, a couple of these texts in, a couple of these, whatever, and then I'm going to be off. We were just straight up with each other, but it helped a ton.
Okay, now to go to you. I know there are a lot of people in my audience that would love to know, how do I connect with Rob? How do I maybe get some of your courses? How do I get some of your, is it as easy as going to robsperry.com?
You can go to robsperry.com. What I would put in the comments is if you go to www.thegameofconquering, so it's just
okay.
And if you go there, then this has both my latest book, and then it also has, I think I have it here somewhere. Maybe I don't. Maybe my kids stole it. And then it has my first book. So it's got both there. If you go
Is that right?
Conquering, yeah. So who knows? Sometimes you have to put WW in. I don't know. People see it, but that's it. The Game of Conquering. So if you go there, it's free shipping worldwide. So when people order from different countries, I lose money. But karma is real. It comes back, so it's worth it. But I promise you, it's taking thousands of dollars of content and selling it. I think it's $15 for the first one, and the second one's $10, and it's free shipping, no tax on it. So that's what I would do. I would get the book. I promise you, it's going to help you tremendously.
I'm waiting for mine to come in. So at this point,
oh my goodness, we used to, like US, it used to ship within 2 days. And now some are 2 days, some are 3 weeks. Like, with what's going on, it's like there's no structure. It's crazy.
No method to the madness that's going on. So
yeah.
Well, Rob, I can't thank you enough. I could sit here and pick your brain all evening.
We'll do it again, my man. This was fun.
Yes, I would love to do this again, and maybe a 6-month repeat, a redo of this, and see how everybody's doing. And because I one of the things that you said that really hit home with me is accountability and no white lies. Because we so many times in our business, I took today off. I was going to do it, and that's okay. That counts. Check that box. I did it. And
we all do.
If we can't be honest with ourselves, then our business isn't going to be honest with us. So, any last final words?
No, I would just tell you guys, most of you know what you need to do. Successful people just do the basics better. Get back to the basics and master the mundane. If you can master the boring, then you're going to crush it. You got to have a vision big enough to be able to do that. But thank you so much, Ron, for having it. And then, yes, first book was The Game of Networking. Second book is not on PDF or Audible yet. It was going to be December, but I got to move that up with everything that's going on. So to be determined.
Well, we are looking forward to it. So, Rob, thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. I can't wait to see you next week. We have a new guest next week. Probably someone you know very well, Mr. Ray Higdon.
Yeah.
Is going to be on next week.
Awesome.
Ray and I have known each other for quite a few years, and this will be the first time we'll get together and actually chat. So,
crushing it, my man. Appreciate all the value you're providing, and thank you, everyone, for tuning in.
Right. Thank you, Rob. God bless everybody.